Hey there, YouTube. We're going to do it. We're going to talk about a thing. Let me read a comment. This is from the recent, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, yeah, being divisive in the community, which a lot of people, they think that's what I'm about. So let me read the comment. Keep speaking the truth, sir. Let the audience decide. That's what I'm subscribed for. Walking on eggshells, trying to accommodate everyone's feelings, and seeking artificial harmony is all poison and trash. I agree. The road to hell is paved with all these good intentions. I want to know more about these high level shooter competitors that you dislike. Names aren't important, but more details. Personality, shooting skills, their clothes. What is it? All right, you know what? I say some pretty saucy things. So why not? Let's talk about it. So first, the Super Squad. So if you don't know what that is, at a big USPSA event, typically at nationals, people will be grouped together and into squads. They shoot the match in. It's like holes in a golf course. You just go around and you shoot all the holes. That's all. There's 18 holes. You play 6 holes a day for 3 days, type of a thing. That's like what nationals looks like. So they call it the Super Squad if the people that are likely to win the match are in that group. Now they would group these people together intentionally. So part of it is a competitive equity thing where they would shoot the match under the same conditions, like together, and kind of can watch what's going on. Like each high level competitor can see everything that's happening as it's happening, which is a little bit of a check to help keep the match more fair. And then the other reason is if you put all those people together, it makes it easier for media to cover the event if that's what they're going to do. So they can see everything that's happening. So the Super Squad is just full of a bunch of like maniacs, effectively, that are just like training, shooting, and all of them are really, really looking to win nationals. And only one of those people is going to do it that year. That's what the Super Squad is like. So obviously, it's going to be a little bit catty. It's going to be a little bit high conflict at times because you have a bunch of people that, in their brains, they're all like, the champion, the contender, and they're just trying to make it happen, and emotions run high. So let's put it that way. It's not a circumstance where a lot of people are going to make a ton of friends. I don't think. Definitely not in my experience. So if I say that I generally dislike the Super Squad level competitors, like the maybe not anybody on a Super Squad, but like the super top tier, like guys that are full ride sponsored, like a actual professional competitive shooter. There's not that many of these people, and again, I tend to dislike them. Why? Okay, so the personality question, that is fair. What is going to happen for Super Squad people is typically they're going to be like fakey with the personality, and generally speaking, they're going to be shills. Now, this is, I don't want to say it's a necessity, but it happens because that's like, it's an economic thing where it's like the only way people can get this funded in most cases is they're going to need sponsors. Maybe they're going to need a job at some kind of a gun company or a gear company or whatever. So it's like if they're at an event like this, in a sense, they're on the clock. Like they're not really free to just say and do whatever they want. They're going to have they're going to be fake. They're not going to have like real conversations with people, generally speaking. And if they do, it's going to be very, very private. So it's like just the nature of the way it's set up. Again, economically, like this is what develops. And right along with being a little bit fake with the personality comes shilling product. Now, I've seen guys like take a sponsorship deal for a gun that they absolutely like. This is common. People take a sponsorship deal for a gun they don't really like and don't really believe in because economically it looks the best for them in that moment when they take the deal. And then they'll shoot a gun that they hate for like years on end just because that's what's paying for them to continue to participate in the sport. This is and to be honest, I don't really have a problem with that at that point. It's like, hey, this is the only way you're going to participate. You're going to shoot, you get a deal, you can shoot this gun They're going to pay your travel expenses to go around and do what you do. You'll have some other job on the side to pay for your actual living expenses, and this is your ticket to the deal. This is the way it's going to happen for you. I don't have a problem with that. That's just reality. However, you'll have people that will like shill this product really aggressively that they don't even like just because, that's what they're being paid to do. So it's like there's a lot of people that are sales people in life. You know what I mean? It's like that's a job that people are going to get. But that's not necessarily fun to hang out with salespeople that are doing sales stuff all day. I kind of view it like this. You have people that basically give you like a corporate answer to any question or don't have any real like authentic type of opinions. Again, I don't have a problem with that. Don't talk to me if you don't want to. If you don't want to talk, don't talk. Like we don't have to talk. Don't care. But it's like this, there's a deceptive type of element to it where people, like, there will be putting on a persona like they're being open and being honest and being genuine, but that's just a persona. As soon as you like kind of look behind the curtain a little bit, or there's a question or an issue or a situation that happens that's a little bit sideways, you can see right through it. You're like, oh, this is just this is a facade. This is not a real personality. These are not real opinions. I've even heard, like, again, super top level, like former world champion type guys, be happy, like, oh, like I got dropped by this holster company. Man, I'm so glad I don't have to pretend that's a good holster anymore. I'm so happy with that. Like, this sort of thinking is really, really common. And one of the most common questions I'll have from people, this isn't something that's typically I talk about on the internet, but if I'm like one-on-one, somebody that like really wants advice about what to do, like they're getting good enough at shooting, they're kind of growing, and then they're starting to look at the sponsorship deal, it is very, very difficult. Like, I would say maybe 1 in 5 times can you talk somebody out of taking any sponsorship deal, no matter how bad it is for them. Like, people just have this desire. They want to be sponsored. They want to have like that validation that comes with like, hey, this company, they're getting behind me. They believe in, maybe this will grow into something, blah, blah, blah. Like, they build it up in their heads to be, like this is going to be a really good thing for them. And it's very, very difficult to talk people out of taking a sponsorship deal, even if it's a bad deal. So for example, I've seen many, many times, a very common sponsorship deal is, hey, I'll give you this gun, and then you shoot it, and I'm sponsoring you, and then the gun company will go on the jersey and write, hey, is there any like travel expenses or any blah blah blah? Is there anything? You're just giving me a gun? And they're like, no, we're just giving you a gun, and like that's the sponsorship deal. Now, so for most USPSA shooters, or I would say any of them in this situation, where they're self-funding, they're doing their own shooting, they're doing their travel. They clearly already have a gun that is working for them on some level. Giving them a different gun doesn't really help them, because then they just have to train with that new gun, learn the new platform, get a new holster, get new gear, get new magazines, like blah, 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 like this whole chain of events is things that have to happen if they're just going to switch guns. It's not like a simple thing to switch a gun and then be very competitive at a high level with it. It's not going to happen the next day. It takes time. But again, even with a deal like that on the face of it is bad, it's very difficult to talk people out of taking it, because they want to build it up into a shooting job or a thing like that. They want that kind of validation. I think that's what it is for a lot of people. They want the validation. So you end up having people that over the course of a few years work themselves into a situation that oftentimes they don't like. They're shooting a gun they don't really like. They go and it's like it's their job to win, which is not that much fun. If you haven't been in that situation, not a whole lot of fun. And there's tons of pressure put on them, and it's not like there's economic rewards. It's like people don't get rich shooting matches. That doesn't happen. You're going to have to make money doing a different thing. Like a good deal for most would be like a desk job at a gun company, getting a salary. All the shooting stuff then gets paid for by the company, and you are supplied with guns. Like, that's basically the best deal I've heard of for anyone, like irrespective of level. Maybe they get like a marketing deal and they can hang out, like they don't go into an office and they hang out at home, and they get a salary and their expenses get covered. That's like top tier. That's a top tier deal. Like very few people have that. But if you're at home listening to this, like, does that sound like what you want for your life? Really? Like that, I mean, that's where your life tops out, is on that. For some people, that's what they want. I don't really like the idea of that, but hey, there's that. The other thing that's, for years, this has grated on me for a long time, to the point where there was a big culture shift in the last decade, in the 20 teens. For most of the decade, the dominant division was production. That's, that's what people cared about. That's what people wanted to shoot. And, over the course of that decade, the culture shifted on the production super squad quite a lot. I'd like to think a lot of this was my influence, but it shifted because there's a culture inside of USPSA where guys like really, really, really aggressively lobby for calls that they know are wrong. The infamous double call. Like you're supposed to shoot, most targets are going to get shot twice. Let's say there's one hole in the target. They'll come up there and say, hey, that's two in that hole. That's the most common thing. Now, in my view, in most cases, this is just like cheating. Like guys know that they missed and they're trying to get the range officer to give them something. And what makes it worse is that due to who this person is, like, hey, do you know who I am? Hey, like they can lay pressure down on the range officers to get these calls to go their way. Now, this can happen in a few different forms. Some guys are very, very, very aggressive, like range lawyery, like mean, dickheads. Like it's very obvious, like what's going on there. Other guys are way more subtle. They're like play the nice guy angle, and like, oh, hey sir, could you please take another look at this, or oh, hey sir, this and that happened. Like I think I should get a reshoot on this stage, whatever. You'll see that type of stuff. Like in a few different forms from a bunch of the top personalities, where effectively they will say or do anything within reason to get a call to go their way. And what's kind of amazing about it is this will be in front of like 15 people, can be like watching a scenario like this unfold and be like, is this guy fucking serious? And it's like, oh, he's running third in the match right now. Like if he gets this call to go his way, he'll be in second. That kind of a thing. And the matches are tight enough that this is very, very consequential type of stuff. Like very consequential. I mean, you have like very tight margins in most matches, and it's like a call like that could be swinging the match. So that sort of behavior, I hate it. Like I hate it a lot. This like a culture of like gentlemanly competition, like that sometimes exists at USPSA, but at the upper levels, there's a lot less of that. And there's a lot more a-holery, so to speak. So in the end, like this is not exactly a secret. Like most of the named top tier shooters that you've heard of, they don't like me, like at all. And you know what? I don't really like them, like at all. And I mean, that's okay with me, but I thought it was an interesting question to address it. So there you go. Now you know.